It is now time for Star Up, Star Down. In case you did not know, this is Shan and RJ with Choppy on percussion. Cowboys insider back from the stadium late last night, Bobby Belt. And that was Brad Sham, your voice of America's team, with the 40-40 tie. It's Star Up, Star Down. It's your Cowboys report card on the Franklin Franco Injury Attorney text line at 877-881-1053. And there are people asking if this was the best game that Dak Prescott has ever played. I think Jerry Jones maybe alluded to that. Was it after the Giants game he suggested it?
It was after the Eagles game.
The Eagles game.
Yeah.
That's right. He's had better numbers, but this thing is freaking impressive across the board. 31 of 40 for 319, 3 touchdowns, no picks, got sacked one time by Micah. The QBR was a 94.4 Star Up.
Big
Rain
time.
Dakota.
Big time. Played the game at a very high level, processing the game well. You know, that was a well quarterbacked game in general. We've seen a few of these. We've seen some really bad ones this year across the league. This was a really, really solid game by Dak. I mean, he was fantastic in this one. And it felt like at every point, no matter when they got the ball, that they were going to score. And if you're Green Bay, that's a big problem. That's a big problem for you moving forward because you looked like you couldn't stop anybody. You couldn't stop a nosebleed.
And he continues to come through in big moments. I tweeted, here it is, all on his shoulders again. You know, he comes through with Pickens, the throw to Tolbert, one that I will never, ever forget. And then Dak was asked after the game, you know, how tough is it not to get frustrated with your defense? Because every Tolo hit me up. It's a shame that we feel this terrified with 43 seconds left. You know what's going to happen. It is inevitable with this crappy D. Does Dak get frustrated when he gets no help with no stops? No stops defensively in the second half?
I love it. It's the game. It's the game of football. It's the NFL. You're playing against the best. And that means you've got to play your best when it's needed. Thankful for these opportunities. As I told y'all before, I guess, right? Like, especially when you've missed ball, when you've been hurt, and you've had to sit there and watch it. You watch games on, watching those college games on Saturday, all those come down to the wire, and then watch the noon games. Like, you want to be in those positions. You don't want to watch just other people execute and be in those positions. And not only that, that just helps you. That experience just makes you better for, more of those to come. So it's fun. It's part of it. It's not, sure, I believe in my defense and they're going to stop it and make the play. And sure, if they do or they hold them to a field goal or whatever it is, I'm just thankful that we still have an opportunity to go out there and answer. And this game, I can be mad about the 1 second on the clock. I can be mad that, they drove the ball. But at the end of the day, I'm pissed that we didn't score in the red zone. We had an opportunity to score in the red zone, and we do that. And they're having to, get back on the line again and throw another Hail Mary to the end zone. So not for 1 second am I looking in the defense. I'm a guy that looks inward first and looks at what we need to do and what I need to do to help this team. And if we score.
That's good. There's Dak. What, Bobby? What's wrong?
Don't be so nice. Don't be so political with it. Look, he's right. They needed to score when they got inside the 5. That was not a great play sequence. Whatever else. Maybe you would have scored if you would have tried the 4th time, like you should have. But you can't look at anything going on with this football team right now with a straight face and be like, I certainly don't look at the defense as a problem. It's like,
what's going to happen if he calls them out? They're helpless.
Right.
They're going to pick it up. They're going to go and grind harder at practice.
They're helpless, but I mean,
early in the year too. He will. He's been known.
He'll do it.
Yeah. Later in the season. Normally, if they don't practice right, which apparently last week they had to restart practice again because they didn't get off to the right start, 7 or 8 plays in. But probably too early to go there, and it's not going to do anything. They're not capable of more.
Then say everybody. Don't just say I look at the offense. Don't do that. Like, you can include the offense and make it a everybody involved sort of thing. But the reality is this team doesn't generate enough pressure, and that's what was going to kill you. Last night, these are the splits. Jordan Love, when he was under pressure last night, he was 3 for 11 for 9 yards. When he was classified as not being under pressure, he was 28 for 32, 328, 3 touchdowns, and no picks. You've got to generate pressure. You've got to blitz him. There are all sorts of things. Guys got to win more consistently, and those are the things.
What percentage of dropbacks should be pressured? Like, should there be pressure on? Like, what's the league average? And I don't know if you know that.
I need to
number.
look at what it is. Yeah,
But the league average pressure rate. If it's like If it's 25%, then
no, it's less. It's higher than that.
Then they're right there. But if it's like 40 or 50, then obviously you've got to get more pressure. Because it did feel like there was a point in that game where Love was leaving the pocket, quite a bit. Now, whether or not he was leaving the pocket early or that was because he felt the pressure and the pressure was real, that's a different story.
Star Up, Star Down brought to you by Wild Fork Foods.
Man, I got to hand it to this guy. I was very, very low on the running backs coming into the season. Very, very low. But then, it was like, hey, the offensive line's going to be good, and the running game's going to be good. But when you're down 2 offensive linemen and you still play well, Star Up to Javonte.
Everybody okay with the signing of Javonte Williams now?
Look at this.
And here's a direct snap to Williams, banging in from the middle. And Williams scores a touchdown, and the Cowboys regain the lead.
Look, it's clear he's the only running back that should get the ball now at this point. So far. If you want to start, especially on 3rd and 12, Hunter, we don't need that.
Not going to be Jaden Blue.
Not going to be him.
Inactive again, and then Miles was limping off in those shoes.
Blue, they don't even know where his uniform is. And then,
you weren't happy with the Hunter Lipke 3rd and 12.
3rd and 12, a draw to your fullback. That is a white flag play. That is a wave the white flag play. It's third. This is not 1947 anymore. Teams pick up 12 yards all the time.
It really felt like the thing that's really surprising about scoring 40, at least to me, it felt like Brian Schottenheimer was calling a very conservative game to start off. Well, they had 0 points in the first quarter, but Collinsworth even kind of alluded to it, and I was like, does Brian Schottenheimer think they're capable of winning a 13-10 game? When you get the rare stop for the season, not just in this game, when your defense gets the rare stop, like, you almost need to score 7 points every single time. And it felt like he was a little bit conservative to go ahead and start off, and then they end up dropping a 40 burger.
Yeah, the first drive, I liked the 3 straight run calls. I didn't mind that you literally punted on that drive, because to me, Mike is coming in there, he's amped up. Mike is coming in there, all the adrenaline in the world. He wants to blow up a play right out of the gate. Like you saw the very first play, they run it at him, and he lost the edge. He dipped under. He was trying to make too big of a play. He was trying to play hero ball. If you throw the ball, if you drop back and throw it, and he collects a sack on that first drive, there's no telling how much that, like, all right, continue to, like, juice him up, amp him up, keep him going. I like basically saying, we're not even going to give you a shot this time. You're not going to get a shot to get to the passer. You're not going to get a shot to tap into any of this. We're going to let your emotions cool down, and then we're going to get into the football game. And so I didn't mind that. I'm going to go Star Up.
Let me finish up with Javonte's stat line off of RJ Star Up. 20 for 85, 4.3 a carry, had a touchdown. He's the battering ram every single game. That goal line shotgun snap that he took after the big run to get down there in the first place for the 30-27 lead. So there's just no possible way as a Dallas Cowboy fan not to love Javonte Williams to start off this year. Star Up to the scouting department, the people in that front office who said, no, we can let Rico go even for cheap money to bring in an injured Denver Bronco.
Yeah, he's been really, really good.
Fantastic.
And really solid. And that's the kind of player that, all right, you
most
look
exciting running back since like Zeke's early years that we've had, unless there's someone I'm forgetting.
I thought Pollard was pretty exciting, like the year before he left for free agency. I thought he was somebody who he could hit home runs. Like he was a little electric. But I mean, Javonte Williams is somebody who you feel like you're wearing a defense down. You feel like you're getting the absolute most out of a given play with him each time. And so I'm a big fan of what he did. I'm gonna go. It's like a tie. It's a Star Up and a Star Down. Wow.
What a theme!
But I'm gonna go Star Up I thought Brian Schottenheimer did a good job in general with play calling and the tempo of the game and judging those sort of things. It's still a tie because I got to go Star Down on 2 decisions. One, the one on the field goal to kick it there. 2, and it seems small at the time, but it ended up not being the not going for 2 when they got it to 13-8. I don't know why you kicked the extra point there.
All right, so let's talk about that. People were making fun of our exchange when I tweeted you, Mr. Analytics.
Yes.
What do you do here? And you were commenting on the next touchdown.
Right.
You're like, oh, you obviously do this in this situation. I was like, yeah, I know, dip. Tell me about the one beforehand.
So, I mean, the chart.
Because you don't chase points early.
You don't chase points
That's
early.
the saying. Don't chase
yes.
early.
But there is just a chart and I don't know I'm sure all these teams have their own chart that they go by, their 2-point conversion chart.
Mm-hmm.
Just the basic one is, when you're down by 5, you go for 2. When you're down by 4, it's called decision. There's usually a kick the PAT or go for 2, and there's very few that are just like, it's a decision, like decision time. Like, now we don't really have a good handle on this. You make the call based on the game situation. But down by 5, it's pretty standard. Just go for the 2.
Bobby,
same if you're down by 2. It's the same kind of formula.
Bobby, when do you subscribe to the theory of don't chase early?
I want to collect the points. If there's a discrepancy, if it's a thing where it's like, all right, if I make the extra point, I'm still going to need a touchdown. If I miss the extra point, I'm still going to need a touchdown. If I get the 2-point conversion, I no longer need a touchdown. To me, it doesn't matter what stage of the game that is. To me, I'm going for 2. Just because I want to know right then, like we've talked about, I want to know what I need to get. And I want to need to know, like, I can't assume that I'm going to score any more the rest of the game or that they're going to score. I need to approach it as if this will be it, and we'll be at the same score by the time we roll into the fourth quarter.
Someone's going to just go for 2 every time. Because that 2-point conversion rates are above 50%. It's closer to 60. Someone's going to just do that.
I feel like we've passed that. I think
probably
teams tried to start doing that when this first became a thing, and then it's gone away.
Yeah. So maybe it doesn't happen, but honestly, the decision that I had both a positive and a negative thought on was early on. It was 4th and 1 from their own 31. Cowboys.
Oh.
And that's the one they tried to draw. They called a time. Green Bay used a timeout, and they tried to draw them off sides. And the good is, at the very least, you got them to burn a timeout. That's good, right? But 4th and 1 from your own 31 with this defense, knowing that you can't stop anybody, you haven't stopped anybody for 3 weeks. That's like, all right. I hate when teams do this. They always try to get them to go for it. They always try to get them to jump off sides. Just get them to jump and then run it as like 2 seconds left of the play clock.
It's a weekly occurrence with this Schottenheimer waited out, and we all know what's going to happen with the punt. And I was thinking, when you give up 5 yards and take the flag on the delay, you're at midfield. Like, you're fine kicking at your 45.
Yeah.
This was like your own, like, 25.
Right.
And I was like, I'm not. It didn't end up burning them, but I was like, I'm not just trying to give up 5 yards of field position when everyone knows that you're not going for it right there. And every time I look up, and I have to go back and really break it down to see if they're all justified. I know last week, Bobby, I think you told me they were justified in using them. But every time I look up in big moments to say, okay, what do we got here? Minute 38, timeouts. The Cowboys never have 2 or more timeouts. Yeah. These timeouts are disappearing early or in the middle of quarters. And that's concerning to me from a game management standpoint moving forward, where the timeouts to burn. They don't have them. I've noticed that now for a couple of games. And let's continue star up, star down. We haven't really gotten to any of the downs, but Bobby, take it where you want.
I'm going to first turn on my microphone. Then I'm going to give you a star up to somebody who I don't think we're going to talk a lot about this morning, but somebody who I think flashed again for me, and you need him to flash moving forward. I did think Donovan Ezeraku played well yesterday.
Yes.
Ezeraku made a couple nice stops in the run game. This is 2 weeks in a row that he's looked really strong in his run support. He's playing disciplined. He's seeing things quickly. It's just he's still kind of learning the way of getting sunned by NFL offensive tackles, and he's working through that. As soon as he gets that aspect down, I think you're going to see a really complete football player, somebody who's got really good instincts and a really good get off. And what you're seeing right now is a guy who's right now one of their better run defenders on the team. So I've got a star up for Donovan Ezeraku, who I think has played really well the last 2 weeks.
I needed more of a close-up replay on that personal foul where he hit the helmet.
Yeah.
I didn't see it cleanly. I was not totally convinced. I'm not ready to kill Ezeraku for that, because Collinsworth on that replay is like, if that's a personal foul, we need to throw out all the rules in football. And then they had the rules specialist on NBC said, no, it was an extra hit to the helmet. I didn't clearly see it. I saw something, but to me, it wasn't that clear. Maybe the referee saw it, but man, the big penalties and huge moments for the Dallas Cowboys reared its ugly head again last night. Maris Leofau is in that spotlight.
That's a terrible play on his part. You got to be smarter than that. And look, if you were blocked out,
and he had a whiff, a huge whiff right before that.
Yeah, and if he was blocked out, he was blocked out. You still got to be able to control yourself. That was a.
Now, what do you mean blocked out?
Like if he was, Bobby had mentioned in the break, if he was blocked out by the ball, he couldn't see the ball behind the player because he was behind him. All right, I get it. It doesn't really change anything. I mean, it changed a little bit, but still, you had 3 steps. Yeah. You had 3 steps. The ball didn't come into your view in 3 steps. That seems uncontrolled.
And he makes me look stupid. That's an additional star down, maybe an easy star down for making me look dumb. But I'm raising my hand. I was part of the Maris Leofow, fan club. Mm-hmm. Get him on the field. He's flying around. Get Sanborn out of there. Get Kenneth Murray out of there. Get someone with some explosion. Get someone with some feistiness. We saw it on that special teams tackle with maybe the hit of the week in the NFL. But then I had to eat it on the timeline with people saying, here's a reason he's not out there. He whiffs, and then the boneheaded, stupid penalty. And I had to eat my words a little bit, advocating for him to be out there for more playing time.
Well, you don't have to eat them for Jack Sanborn. Now, Jack, go ahead.
Let me finish up real quick with the big plays that cost this team penalty-wise. 12 on the field wipes out the Diggs interception. Now, are you blaming the Cowboys more or giving LaFleur credit for that quick sequence? They were giving him credit on the broadcast, Bobby, for that quick sequence to trap the Cowboys with an extra man on the field. But, man, you talk about a moment that Trayvon Diggs needed. You talk about a moment that the Cowboys defense needed. You talk about a moment that the fan base needed to believe in Trayvon Diggs. Wiped out 12 on the field. That's one. Illegal formation wipes out a big Cavante Turpin third down. That would have been a first. Illegal formation. And you can't talk stupid penalties. It's a rule in the Metroplex. In case you've just moved here or you're listening on the Odyssey app. You cannot talk stupid penalties without the inclusion of one Sam Williams and the face mask on third down. But he was bailed out a little bit because Trayvon had a hold. It was 2 flags thrown. So if it wasn't going to be Sam with the face mask, it was going to be Trayvon Diggs with the hold. And then Todd Archer tweeted this out, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, is this true? Tyler Smith had 3 early penalties? Mm-hmm. 3?
Second game of his career that he's been flagged 3 times. But, yeah, he had 3 penalties all in the first half, I think.
Because I felt like Green Bay was accumulating the stupid penalties. I'm like, all right, yes, we're facing a dumber team again. It felt like 1st and goal. They just were an automatic false start, moving back 5 yards. Mm-hmm. And they had to happen multiple times. And I'm like, ha-ha, we got them in terms of the penalty and the discipline. And then you look up, and the Cowboys get flagged 11 times for 95 yards. 11. Green Bay had 7 for 53. 18 flags thrown in this game, making it, in addition to the scoring, a 3.5-hour contest.
And both teams' penalties were really crippling. Like,
yes.
The non-penalty
on Bland.
Yeah, well, that at the very end on the third.
That was stunning to us that they didn't throw a flag there. We were all looking around like, oh, okay, is that Torbert just saying like, all right, here, I'm going to do you one solid since I've kind of, there's nobody who looks more satisfied calling a penalty than Ron Torbert. He looks like he just loves letting you know.
There was a holding call that Green Bay had on themselves early on when they were kind of doing whatever they wanted. The non-intentional grounding.
Yes.
On Dak.
Yes.
I was like, oh, we kind of got away with that one.
Yes.
So there were some interesting calls to that game. I do want.
What was the moment? Last thing on it, promise. What was the moment of the Leofow penalty?
That was in that last drive, right?
The one, the unnecessary roughness or whatever. It was either. I believe that was the one on the field goal to tie. It was either the field goal to tie or it was the touchdown to Dobbs. I think it may have been the touchdown to Dobbs because I think there was some time that passed after
Star up, star down, brought to you by Wild Fork Foods. Get them in on the text line 877-881-1053.
I do want to do a Jack Sanborn star down. Listen, I don't really know who you are. I know Brad Sham asked a few questions about you in camp because he couldn't stop talking about you. But I just want to let you know, Twitter doesn't like you.
Man.
Twitter's not a fan. Man. So just little kind of PSA, giving you a heads up there, man. Dude. Stay off social media.
And have a different slanted spine so that ball bounces up next time instead of down. We would have let him totally off the hook if one more second would have burned off the clock. But Bobby, this Jack Sanborn thing, he's probably the number 1 black sheep on the team right now.
He's painfully slow. He doesn't look like he's fast enough to play linebacker for you. And that's the thing,
and they benched him for who was the linebacker who came in? The other linebacker. Chop, help me out with it. Shamar James.
Oh, yeah.
They put him on the bench. It seemed
Would
like
have taken me a while to get to his name.
late in the fourth. I had it written down. Shamar James.
He was active for the first time this week. Yeah, he's not good enough right now. And the problem is
he's
that
not going to be good enough.
No, yeah, I know. Yeah, he's
right now.
He can play within the defense if things are a certain way. Given what the defense is right now, he's a massive liability. And he's not very good. He's one of these guys who it's like, okay, yeah, fine, Adam, can he play special teams? Oh, I guess he's going to be a backup linebacker. Can he do this or that? But as like a crown jewel of the defense that, Matt Eberflus is trying to build here, which I'm still trying to figure out the hell that is. It's not going to work. The linebackers are so bad right now. The linebackers are bad. I know we keep talking about the secondary, and the secondary is bad, no doubt about it. But the linebackers are terrible.
They need Overshown so bad. Overshown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Overshown's got to come back and, be healthy. Like he's got a lot to overcome. Star up, star down.
Yeah, we're going to go star down to Matt Eberflus. I'm
Zach Wilczek, cover your ears.
Yep. Watch out for this, Zach. I know that's your boy. I got to be careful here. But no, the Matt Eberflus continued insistence on a few things. Why does James Houston continue to play minimal snaps
after doing stuff like this? And we talked about getting in more PT last night.
All right, here's Love back to throw. There's light pressure. He pumps. Ball stripped out. Rolling around at the 15-yard line. Who's got it? Cowboys got it at the 15-yard line with 13 seconds to play.
Strip and the recovery with 13 seconds left, which turned around the entire game as they scored 14 points in 32 seconds for the 16-13 lead.
About a quarter of the snaps is what he's playing on defense, and that's been consistent for the last 3 weeks. And to me, I don't understand why there's not a heavy usage for him, because every time he goes out there, he does rush the passer. He should be in there on all your obvious passing situations right now.
I haven't noticed Dante Fowler one time this year.
I did notice Fowler a little bit yesterday. I thought Fowler was okay yesterday, but I mean,
I forgot what number Dante Fowler wore. I've forgotten. I don't even know.
It's Overshown's old number, 13.
Yeah. I'm like, 13? Who is that? Where's Dante Fowler? But Houston, one of these rare carryovers we saw in the preseason, and it's happened during the regular season. You're saying he didn't play a lot more snaps last night?
No. So he played 22% of the snaps against the Giants, 23% against Chicago. He played 25% last night.
Well, he did play on special teams because he had a hold.
He did play on special teams. Yeah, they gave him 14 snaps last night. So those snaps have gone way up because he had played 13 on special teams all year before that. But Eberflus not giving him more of an opportunity. The continued insistence of using Donovan Wilson as the deep safety is odd to me. If he's responsible for lineup changes, I think putting Diggs to the bench over Elam is nuts to me. And I know that Diggs hasn't been great. That's not an endorsement of Diggs. Elam is the worst player on this football team right now. He's not good.
Was that his zone, or was he responsible for that last Dobbs touchdown? Upper left corner. I think that was Dobbs. I can't keep track of
yeah.
I think that was the last one, and I was like, Elam's not even close.
The last Dobbs touchdown, I think what that was, it looks like it was cover 3. I don't know what Wanye Thomas was doing. Wanye Thomas is the one who I think was wrong there because he funneled to the corner side of the end zone. It looked like cover 3, which everybody's supposed to have a deep zone right there. But it's the same thing. Start down to this too. The body language of a defense that after every touchdown I've seen them give up this year, the hands go up and they turn and look at each other like, what were you doing? What were you? It is such a fast, immediate demonstration of blame game between teammates in terms of their body language, and I hate it. I hate seeing it after every single big play, after every single touchdown. They're instantly like, what are you doing? And nobody wants to just seem to take it as, all right, this is my fault. But to me, that begins and ends with Eberflus. I'm not saying Eberflus needs to be fired or anything else. Eberflus needs to be on notice because this isn't acceptable. And a lot of this, I know personnel's not great, but he's not helping it. And it's a lot easier to change one than it is to change 25 guys in personnel.